happiness, and I think that should be our goal as human beings. And so the question is, what are the fundamental things that affect our happiness? Right? So I would argue there are three primary things. Right? Where you are, who you're with, and what you're doing. Now sure, there are other things, right? And you'll notice that money's not one of those dimensions, right? Another Abraham Lincoln quote, he once said, "More money, more problems," right? You've heard that? I don't know if that's right, I mix these things up sometimes. Anyhow, yeah, there are more aspects to happiness than just who you're with and what you're doing and where you are, but I would argue that those three are fundamental. So, what I'll teach you really quickly, graduating class, is how to calculate your own happiness, right? So this non-engineers, this is where you roll your eyes at me, right? We're going to try to calculate this. So to start, where you are, right? Let's say you love the mountains and you live in Breckenridge, right? You get a point for that, okay? Kind of like where you live, it's kind of neutral, you get 0 points, and if you absolutely hate where you live, you get -1, right? Same thing applies to what you're doing. You know, do you love your job? You all are about to get a job, right? And so I would say, you know, if this is the kind of job that you go to work each day and you say, I'd do this even if I wasn't getting paid, you get a point for that, right? If you kind of like it, it's pretty good, no points. And if you hate your job, like I used to when I was a lifeguard, when I was growing up, I used to count the minutes that go by until the job's over, you get a -1, all right? And then finally, who you're with. And really that's being able to spend proper time with your friends and your family, right? If you can do that, that's a benefit, right? +1. If you get to spend some of your time with your family, you know, that's pretty neutral. You get a little bit, but not as much as you'd like. And if you don't get to spend any time with your friends and your family, you get a -1, right? So tally them up, okay? I would say the goal in life is to get a 3 on that scale. If you can get a 3, then you're doing some things right. Okay, so any nerdy engineer would then say to me, well, you know, you're not considering the fact that you have to weight these things and all these other things, right? You should all say probably. And I'd say that's true, right? So my challenge to you all is to really, in the next few years, you're going to make some really big decisions in your life. And it's going to affect one or more of those 3 things. Really think about what matters to you. Is it people? Is it place? Is it your job? And there's no right answer to that. You really have to learn what you need as a person, all right? So I faced this dilemma when I was actually looking for this job, you know, where I should go, whether I'd be close to family, whether I'd be, you know, working with the people who I wanted to work with, et cetera, et cetera. And I think the understanding kind of that life is kind of about these 3 things really helped me not necessarily make that first decision, but to learn about myself so I know how to make future decisions. Just think about those things. So personally, I'm happy to say I'm a 3 now. I live in Boulder, right? That's awesome. You know, I love the person I'm with, and you know, another great thing is I get to work with all of you people, right? That's the joy of my career. So I know it's hard to remember graduation speeches. Nobody ever remembers them. So what I'll do is I'll leave you with the last piece of advice that an old man once gave to me. All right? He said, as you go through life, strive to be happy, work hard, be a nice person, and never, ever, under any circumstance, take a laxative and a sleeping pill at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, for that inspiring advice. Will the outstanding graduates of the college please join us on stage? They are the outstanding graduate for academic achievement, Mason Lacey, the outstanding graduate for research, Douglas Winter, and the outstanding graduate of the college,